Hi. So this week's discussion has to deal with Dr. Martin Luther King, and the question reads, how did Martin Luther King's philosophy of nonviolent protest bring success to the civil rights struggle in 1955 to 1965? Now understand what this means that you have to do is you're going to have to cover the entire time period from 1955 to 1965. This will cover the previous chapter we went over because that's when they look at the civil rights during the Eisenhower administration, and it continues on the chapter that we're covering this week on the New Frontier and Great Society. So basically, you're going to use previous knowledge as well as the new knowledge you're gaining this week. So it's very important. You have to cover that 10-year time period. So the best way to start is in 1955, which brings Dr. King on to the stage, is going to be the Montgomery Bus Boycott. And this is the first instance where he's going to use his nonviolent protest. Dr. King understood that Americans will respond to seeing if blacks are being treated in such a horrific condition, but they're not fighting back. So this goes against all the racial biases that were at the time. He also understood, because one of his heroes was Mahatma Gandhi, who was able to dispel the British Empire without ever firing a shot. He too was the one who began the nonviolent protest. So the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Other things you might consider to write, of course, is I Have a Dream speech as well. Now, what is in also the March on Selma? And this whole purpose of the March of Selma is because Selma, a city in Alabama that had 50% of the population was black, and yet 3% was registered to vote. So he's bringing out these injustices that blacks in the South and also in the United States had to face around the country. What you would end with, because this is where you're looking at 1965, is first the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and what's in it, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, what's in it, because this is the accumulation of Dr. King's hard work. So begin with 1955, Montgomery Bus Boycott. You could look at the Civil Rights Act of 1957. You can look at the I Have a Dream speech, and then ending with the connection of the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act as well. Okay? So that's all we have right now. And as usual, you can always come and send me your discussion by 4 p.m. this Thursday, and I'll be more than happy to critique it and help you get a better grade. Let's have a good week.